These are the plaintiffs, David Hargraves and Natasha Samountree. David says he and his girlfriend agreed to sublet the defendant's apartment for a month and also look after her cat, Mr. Muffins. Well, Mr. Muffins got freaked out about strangers in the apartment and started urinating all over the floors. They did the best they could to contain the situation, but when they moved out, the defendant refused to return their security, so they're suing for the $1,000 they're owed. This is the defendant, Amy. She says the smell of urine smacked her in the face like a Mack truck when she returned to her small apartment after being abroad for the summer. The place hadn't been cleaned all summer. There was an empty vodka bottle and food left out. That's a perfect way to get a rat infestation. Bottom line, the plaintiffs destroyed her apartment, and she's keeping their security to pay for the cleanup. She's accused of not paying up.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case on the docket. The plaintiff sublet the defendant's apartment and looked after the defendant's cat. The cat freaked out, peed all over the apartment, and now the woman refuses to return their security, which is crazy. Now, the defendant says the plaintiffs wreaked havoc on the place. It's the case of cats got your security deposit?
Thank you, Douglas. Okay, Mr. Hargreaves and Ms. Samountree, you are suing the defendant. You've asked us to refer to you only as?
Amy.
Amy, all right. For a $1,000 security deposit that you believe that she has wrongfully withheld. You believe you are rightfully withholding it because according to you, they damaged the place. Tell me what's going on.
Good morning, Your Honour. So for the month of August, we sublet Amy's apartment in the Lower East Side. It was just for the 1 month. The deposit was $2,600. $1,600 was for the month's rent, $1,000 was for the security deposit. Part of the agreement was that we look after the cat, Mr. Muffins.
Mr. Muffins?
Mr. Muffins,
okay.
yeah.
What kind of cat?
Ragdoll.
Okay.
Yeah. So we looked after Mr. Muffins, we fed Mr. Muffins, and we took care of his litter box.
Where are you from?
New Zealand.
Okay, could there be anything more delicious than hearing someone from New Zealand say Mr. Muffins repeatedly? I don't know about you guys, but I'm going to enjoy this. Okay, go ahead. So go on.
So, yeah, so my girlfriend Natasha and I, we were living there in the Lower East Side. Mr. Muffins, at first a little shy, a little hesitant, and, you know, and then he sort of came out of his box a little bit and he was friendly. But, however, Muffins kind of...
Mr.
Muffins. I sometimes call him Muffins. But Mr. Muffins, he sort of flipped out and he stopped using his litter box. And so he was urinating around the apartment.
Goodness, when did you first notice that?
So it sort of got progressively worse. I mean, like I said, sort of from the start when we moved in, but it was, you know, it was hard to tell because it was an indoor cat. There was a litter box inside. The place sort of smelled a bit of pee anyway.
When you rented it, when you first rented it, it smelled a little bit like that? Or you mean the litter box smell?
The litter box smell,
okay.
You know. And then, like, we started noticing that he was into sort of the later end of the first week, and then it got progressively worse. Okay,
now just to be clear, the rental was based on not just renting it to them, but also cat sitting, because you were where?
On vacation.
On vacation, yeah. Okay. Where'd you go? Somewhere great, Europe. You were gone. You were
gone.
Like the other side of the world. Okay. All right, so go ahead.
Yeah. So, yeah, and then it just sort of got worse. So he wasn't using his litter box. We only a couple of times actually caught him in the act of doing it.
Now, you worked full-time.
Yeah,
we
were both interning full-time.
Okay.
Working 7 days a week, really. So a lot of the time we weren't in the apartment. So we would come back, yes, we would smell the cat pee, but...
The unmistakable odor of cat urine.
Yeah, and it was strong, you know.
Yeah.
And, you know, he had already done the act, you know, he had done the deed. When we saw that he was doing it, I cleaned it up. But of course, you know, it's cat pee, you know,
right.
It's there to stay. Yeah, so I emailed to tell her of this problem. She didn't email back. Yeah.
And so then you guys move out on what day?
we move out the end, the 30th, I think it was. 30
Okay.
days in August.
Let me see the email that you sent to her regarding
Sure.
the problem. All right, so Amy, when you return and you get to the apartment, it's what day?
September 2nd.
Okay.
September 1st at night. So
Okay.
September 2nd, late.
All right, and I presume that the first thing you smell is the unmistakable odor of cat urine.
Well, my building has double glass doors. So when I got through the second door and outside my door before opening the door to my apartment, I could smell something was wrong and my eyes started to sting. And when I opened the door to the apartment, my eyes were stinging. It smelled, it's August and it's the Lower East Side, Lower Manhattan. It's hot. There's no window open and it smells of cat pee. And I could just smell
Yeah, I
something
think
was
Mr.
wrong right
Muffins
when I
has
walked
made
in.
a clear statement to everyone that you're not allowed to go to Europe for a month. Mr. Muffins likes his environment and he wants to keep his environment and he missed you terribly. But why is it their fault? You're keeping the security deposit because you ended up having to move from the place. It was so bad, right? Mm-hmm. And I presume you didn't get your security deposit back from your landlord.
Absolutely not.
All right. Were you allowed to sublet?
It's gray. It was a cat sitting.
It's not a cat sitting. You were getting money.
Slash-
Yeah, I don't know about that. But in any event, that's not my worry. Why is this their fault that you should be able to keep the $1,000? Why is it not just cat behavior when cats are upset?
Okay, so can the defendant withhold the security because her cat peed while the plaintiffs were watching?
I don't think so. I don't think it's legal.
Why? The plaintiffs were responsible, were watching the cat.
But it was the defendant's cat.
True statement.
But the plaintiffs accepted the responsibility.
That's true. So it sounds like you're changing your mind.
I'm changing my mind.
Okay. What do you think?
No, the cat was doing a natural thing.
So cats are just allowed to pee all over the damn apartment.
Until they're trained, yes.
Going inside the courtroom.
I go away every summer. Last summer I had a cat sitter and this wasn't a problem. I also go away in April and I go away in December and I have cat sitters and he doesn't pee everywhere.
Why didn't you just have those same cat sitters
And he
come?
wasn't, because different people have different things to do and they're not always
Have you ever
all
had the
available.
same cat sitter or it's always been different people?
Different.
Okay, but it's an animal. It's a cat. So other than, hey, this has never happened before, you've had other cats, right? You know about cat behavior, or this is your first cat? All right. Other than that, do you have any evidence? What is your suggestion to me about why they should be held responsible? It's not like you thought they were going to be watching your cat 100% of the time, putting little cat diapers on your cat, taking any. They have jobs and they were leaving, and you knew that. So what is it that you feel they did wrong that would justify you keeping the deposit? I understand something went wrong. We're all clear something went wrong. Your cat was peeing all over the place. But why is that their fault? You have to point to the human behavior they did wrong that would justify you keeping their $1,000.
Yeah, absolutely. First off, a lot of the damage was inside the closet where I had stored boxes of my winter coats and clothes. And the closet had doors that you could close, but they let the cat go in the closet and urinate all over the floor without closing the door or putting something in front of it, blocking it off. I felt like that was really negligent. That would be an easy solution to not damage everything. I also noticed that the area rug, the large area rug, they hadn't attempted to wash it in a washing machine at a laundromat.
They
hadn't even tried. And that was the first thing that I did, was take it to the laundromat so that the cat didn't smell the odor again and want to go repeat the behavior and pee on it. And also, if you use Google, you can just find out that cats don't like citrus smells. So maybe try a citrus cleaner, which is what I did when I got home. And that
Did you answer their 824 email? Let me see the 824 email. I have it here. On August 24th, which is week 3, I guess, I hope all is well with Mr. Muffins. I miss him so much I can't even bear to think about how he's doing, or I would have inquired ages ago. If his litter box is too dirty and bothering you, you could get him a new one. I'll reimburse you. And
that was
some
my
other
response because he said that.
That was on the
he
23rd.
Peeing outside the box.
That was before his email to you. That was before. That was at 8:33. He emails you at 9:53. Hi, old Muffins is okay. He does have some curious habits, though. The staring into the bath is unusual. What is he like? Mr. Muffins stares at you when you're taking a bath?
Yeah, like I said, like Mr. Muffins, you know, he's a friendly dude, and you know, when you take a bath, he liked to watch, you know.
Isn't there a curtain or something, or how is it? It's a glass door. What is it?
No, there's a shower curtain. You
A
can
shower
close.
curtain, and don't you have the shower? What does Mr. Muffins do? Take a paw and go like that? Like what's going? Do you have a picture of Mr. Muffins?
There's one, I think, in the email there.
There's one.
Here, let me see that. You took a picture to send to her?
Yeah.
So she wouldn't worry? Oh. What is he peeing on there? One of those...
That was the rug inside my closet, which they
Oh.
could have closed the door to so he wouldn't pee all over my
Why
clothes.
didn't you close the door to the closet?
The door was closed. Muffins figured out a way to claw
Is it a
open.
bifold door?
Track sliding.
Track sliding, yeah. So
And Muffins figured out a way to just
he
go
figured
like
out a
that?
way. He was adamant on going in there. I mean, we didn't actually know he was peeing in there. We had our own bags in there. One of the bags is that one there, and I've got some photo evidence of...
What, you brought that back so that I would smell it?
yeah.
Yeah, that's not happening.
Yeah.
Go ahead, go on.
Okay, well, I've got photo evidence as well. So we kept our bags in that closet. If we knew Mr. Muffins was going in there and to urinate, we wouldn't have left our bags in there, you know?
Right.
And we didn't know until the end. Of course, the whole apartment smelled of pee. We
So it's hard
agree
to
on
track
that.
unless you're going to stick your nose on the ground.
Yeah,
every
and
time,
even
which
to
is-
see it, it crystallizes on the ground. It's hard to even know when he's done the dirty deed.
How's Mr. Muffins doing now?
He's doing really well. He hasn't peed on the floors once.
Okay, so
Yeah,
when
the
you
feet
moved
outside
the
the
cat
box.
to a new environment, the elimination problem stopped? Because she's gone from, he's gone from all the spots that...
Well, he stopped in the Lower East Side after I scrubbed the floor for about 6 days straight with orange cleaner and put fans on it and aired it out. But they hadn't washed the area rug and they let it soak into the floorboards. So he stopped peeing.
How do you know when
Manhattan,
it
but
soaked
just
into the
smelled-
floorboards? If a
Because-
cat pees on a rug at 8 in the morning, by the time I come home at 6 or 7, it's soaked into the floorboards. So how do you know? I just don't see it. You're not gonna be able to do that. You
Stains.
can't keep that deposit because your cat had normal cat behavior that could have happened any of the times that you left town, but you got lucky and it didn't. That's not enough evidence to suggest that they did something wrong. I'm gonna order you to return the $1,000 verdict for the plaintiffs.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So the defendant unable to win this case and comes out on the losing end there. What's
Yes.
going? What is your feeling on this outcome here?
I think it's totally unfair. I think they were totally negligent and they should have at least tried to wash the rugs in the laundry machine and not just left the pee there to soak in and ruin my apartment.
Yeah. Maybe you should have given them better instructions on how to do this or
Use a laundry machine? I would think they would know
how to
do
take
that.
care of a cat.
They said they knew how.
They did.
Yeah.
How's Muffins doing that, Mr. Muffins?
Mr. Muffins, he's doing really
good
well.
now? All right, give Mr. Muffins our best. You just head right down there, okay? All right, so come on in here. You okay with this outcome here?
Yeah, really pleased.
What do you make of this lawsuit?
Well, it's been dragging on for a while. I'm glad to now wipe my hands of the situation and to get our money back, and on principle.
Yeah, do you feel like she tried to blame you for,
Totally.
you know,
And, you know,
You did your best
No one's, like, if anyone's, it's Muffins, you know, like, but poor Muffins, Mr. Muffins, you know, he's a victim, but he's the perp, you know, like he's, it is what it is.
do you miss Mr. Muffins?
Sure, I miss Mr. Muffins. You know.
Harvey?
The key here is the defendant has to show fault on the part of the plaintiffs, and there is no fault. The instructions that somebody gives plaintiffs in this case would be critical. And that will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.